birthday one.
Event is starting. Okay, we are now live.
RobertTechJobs.com IndyCar Speedway League is on the air. I'm probably not doing that the justice Tony Trapasso does it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alex Green. I'm joined in the booth by Forrest Sparks. How's it going, Forrest?
Well, still trying to debug everything, but hopefully we all get going smooth by the time the race starts in about 15 minutes.
You guys have probably noticed on this channel we're not the typical crew, and that's because we will be the official commentators for the ISL Icebreaker Series and the Pro Mazda. This series was the creation and brainchild of one Terry Adams, who has long since taken the role as the league coach. We've been recruiting the last couple months, and looks like we have a bunch of guys who are new to the league. This will be their first race with us, as well as we have some of the established veterans right now.
Yeah, it looks like we have from the regular league Dominic Byrne, Michael Baker, Mark Vega, Hanover Fist, or Terry Adams. I can't get used to that. Robert Lacavera, Sam Cooper Bennett, Tony Trapasso, Richard Sudduth, Michael Whitaker, Kevin Paskowitz, Johnny Antonucci, and David Llewellyn. So we actually have a pretty good chunk of this field as our regulars.
22 cars, and I think that's a pretty good mix.
20.
As we get going into the regular season, it should be noted that this is still an off-season race. We're calling this an Icebreaker Series for a reason. This is more for the drivers to get used to each other, get used to the car, and get used to how we operate. Got about 12 minutes here left in the hot lap session with a strength of field of 1547 out of 22 cars. Looks like so far leading the way we have Jody Green, who's been pretty much locked on that board, and as you look right now, he has got a pretty good draft going, and that probably has a good reason for that lead.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still trying to chow down.
No, you're good. You're good. That's fine. Would like to remind everybody tonight that this league and this session is brought to you by RobertTechJobs.com, your Midwest solution for IT professionals. Please feel free to go to RobertTechJobs.com and tell them the ISL sent you. You're in the Midwest and looking for a job here. Would also like to go ahead and thank Terry Adams and Hanover Fist Racing for all that he does to the league. Like I said, this series is the brainchild of him, and it was something that he held near and dear to his heart to evaluate talent and hopefully ensure better racing in the top leagues as well as here. Would also like to thank Robert Lacavera and all he's done to help us run sessions and his monetary contributions to the league. This league isn't cheap to run when you run 4 series, matter of fact. David Llewellyn and the DHL Express has donated a lot to this league, and we really appreciate everything he's done for us, as well as serving on the competition committee. And lastly, I'd like to thank Motor Graphic Design LLC, run by Tyler Graff. If you watched our Dan Weldon Memorial, he was responsible for a lot of the artwork you saw on those cars. He will also be doing it for what I'm pleased to announce is the DW12 race next week at Pocono for the Justin Wilson Memorial. Winner of that race will receive a $50 donation to the winner of that race will have a $50 donation in their name to the Justin Wilson Foundation. Looks like got a little bit of traffic there. Jody Green running laps, and I think somebody got caught up in front of him and spun. I'd rather them sort that out now than beforehand.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is out of our top 5 fastest cars so far, 3 of them are new guys, and only one of them is one we'd expect to be there in the regular series.
David Llewellyn, I mean.
Exactly.
David Llewellyn had a strong showing last year in the chase, and he's proven to continue that showing going as we went into season 2 in both the DW11s and the 12s. David's one of the better drivers in the league, and you can never fully count him out of the race, and I don't think anybody's going to count him out of this one. Jody Green is a new name to us. I believe we picked him up last week. I'm sure he's pretty happy with his time there. We'll see how it goes in qualifying. Mike Erder, go ahead.
I'm just curious. So there was a whole situation with normally in the 11s and the 12s we run 50% fuel tank. How long can these go on a full tank of fuel? Because we're running 100 laps.
What we actually decided to do was actually change this to a 75 lap race, was originally scheduled to 100, and they are actually running 10% of their fuel, which is about 30 laps. So we did enough to make it interesting and plenty of laps to
Oh,
get these guys used to what's
oh,
going on there. That was a big one, and
yeah.
they're still going.
And I was watching that one live. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Instant replay. I think I might have gone too far back. Whoops. Back to live. Yeah, that might work. Let's go ahead and crank it up.
One of the big changes to this league and this series is Tony Trapasso and Mark Vega typically in the booth and in race control. They've elected to run this series full time and stick me here at race control and in the booth. Also have Sam Cooper Bennett, who's elected to voluntarily come down to this series and run it full time as well, making his final DW11 race debut at Las Vegas Motor Speedway last week, and what a finish it was at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, that was the second race of the season that almost gave Cody a win because of fuel mileage. Was it the DW12s or the 11s that he ended up winning because of pit stops within the last 5 laps of the race? Whichever
Christopher
one.
Parkman, whoever ended up winning, he was the one who ended up winning, I should say. Ran out of fuel on the last lap, got it back in the pit road, and managed to make it.
Oh, he did run out. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
I was on
run
the
out.
track. I didn't know that.
He even Parkman will tell you he got lucky with winning that race, but he was just what a dominant performance by the league's most winning driver. 3 wins already this season. I believe he had 2 last season for 5.
Yeah.
That is, he surpassed Rodney German earlier this year as the winningest driver in the short history of this league, and so far it's by a landslide.
Well, one thing I want to point out here in the broadcast is this was your brainchild as a whole back in September, and I don't think either of us expected in half a year, almost exactly half a year's time, we would be running 4 nights a week in 4 different series where 3 of them are actual serious ones where everyone's being serious about their competition.
No, and I mean, I'll contribute that every night in the week that we got lucky and got some great people early on. You know, I was really glad we got Cody. I couldn't do what I do without Tony and especially in Terry. Terry has been extremely beneficial. The core group of guys, pretty much everybody who serves on the competition committee right now, which was voted on by their peers, not appointed by me, you know, they've been absolutely vital to this league. I think we would have had a good amount of success, but nowhere near. Well, we're starting to attract some of the top names in sim racing for the IndyCar. I think people, you know, it's been a growing journey, and it's been some growing pains on top of it. But I wouldn't have it any other way, and I think we have a great laid-back group of guys who love racing each other. Yeah, it's racing, tempers flare, but above all, I'm looking forward to seeing what these young guns, these new guys, can bring to the mix when they get promoted. Name to look out for so far that I've seen the last couple races, we have Rob Thomas, who did pretty well at Charlotte and also did pretty well at a hosted race at Phoenix. I know he's looking forward to getting some league time in. Jose Olivas was actually we got in our first recruitment session for this Pro Mazda, and he's proved to be a really good force thus far. I think it's going to be a changing of the guard here. Some of these older established drivers, I think we're going to have somebody who's never won before tonight. I think one of the young guns is going to take it.
Well, looking at our field there, I only see a few that have won the league anyway. So, I mean, it's not counting the Xfinity Series you run on Friday nights. Our only winners that are actually in this race. I see Jay Anderson join, so he's one of them. Then David Llewellyn and Tony Passo, of course, he won our very first race at Daytona. But we are up to 22 total cars now. I know your thing will say 24, but it's actually 22 because there's us two.
Sorry about that. I had to try to get a few more of the new guys into the broadcast booth here so we can have them for interviews as this race goes on.
Now, if anybody is watching, feel free to type into the chat if the audio isn't balanced right. I haven't had it set up for broadcast. I had it set up for my POV, and I just want to make sure everything is sounding perfectly fine and even. So if anything sounds off, Please say so that I can correct it. That's what this whole entire thing is for, is to get us all set up for, what is it, 2-3 weeks from now?
I believe it's 2 weeks after this one, before the official season debut at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
What was the premiere date going to be? What was the actual date?
I believe...
Was it going to be in April, or was it going to be...
It is April.
Okay, so it'd be April 6th.
Thursday in April.
Correct. That's April 6th. That's 3 weeks from today we will be going for our first race.
As the hot laps wind down there, I believe Jody Green's going to keep that top time. But the field's pretty evenly split here. You can really throw a blanket, I'd say, over the top 10.
Ooh! Wrecking off turn 4 again. That seems to be the danger zone, is turn 4.
Well, the thing I've noticed with the time I've ran in this setup is cold tires are the worst enemy here, and if we're going to have wrecks, it's going to be at turn 4. And just on the turns in general for when those cold tires. You have to lift the first couple laps till they get warmed up, and then you can start the floor. But this is not one of the typical old school setups. This is one you very much have to drive.
Well, let's go into the cockpit for somebody and just ride around the track.
I think Tony probably be a pretty good one to run with.
Is he actually on the track? No,
yeah,
he's not.
I don't know.
David. Okay, let's ride with David Llewellyn. Let's ride around him for a bit. We don't have any of the stat stuff because we're not on board. And of course, he's going down pit road. Richard Sudduth, let's switch to him.
So one of the things that they're discussing right now with the race chatter is pit strategy. You know, these cars, it takes a long time to do a pit stop and put fuel in it. So they're talking, you know, putting the first fuel run in, just doing the fuel. But changing the tires dramatically adds time. But they aren't sure, you know, if it's worth it, if the fresh tires are going to be worth it in the long run here.
Well, with how long it takes to fill up the tank, wouldn't the tires be swapped out before the tank is full?
Not with the 10%.
Oh, okay, that's
actually,
right.
If you just put fuel in this thing, I did a stop earlier, and it took 13 seconds to put fuel in it, and that was with no tires. So, I mean, I imagine it'd probably be close to a 20, 30-second stop, and that's just a rough estimation. So that's going to be a pretty interesting chess match as we go into the early on here. Do you take tires late in the race?
This is a nice one.
Or do you stay in the same tires for all 75 laps?
Well, I don't know how this setup feels because I didn't get out on the track with it, but going by what happened Tuesday night, I do what I did there every time. Go in, if it's late enough, get just enough fuel to make it to the end, and then take the gamble with the tires if you know that if you took them recently enough that they're not going to blow up on you. And
yeah, definitely. David Llewellyn leading that pack. He is one of the best drafters in the league.
Kevin Paskowitz got tight coming off turn 2 and just smacked the wall and just stuck to it. And he's flying. Oh my god, we got this on stream. This is amazing. So if y'all are wondering what it's like when you get hit going 140 miles an hour, that's what happens.
Hot laps coming to a close here, and in 5 seconds we're going to begin qualifying. Now, if you're a newer driver in this league, do you qualify and try to get in the pack, or are you going to play this cautious?
Depends on how ballsy they are. How comfortable they feel with these cars. If they're comfortable, they've run these cars enough, get out there, run the laps. If, for example, let's say it's someone who maybe they haven't run the car a lot, like maybe you or I if we were out there, just sit out the 5 minutes, then sit for the 5-minute driver's meeting that you will be giving them, and then just go from there. Should I unmute the game chat to let you driver's meeting?
That you can. Yeah. Race control. With hot laps winding down, quickest lap of practice was actually set by Robert Lacavara. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You didn't sort him right. Quickest time was still Jody Green, who had an 18.453. That's pretty quick there. Times are starting to roll in here for qualifying. Quickest time thus far, David Llewellyn taking the early pole, which is not a surprise to anybody.
Not at all. Why is my thing not sorting the qualifying times right?
Mine didn't either. I had to actually sort to qualifying. I don't know if they messed that up with the update.
No, my ATVO. It wasn't sorted.
Kevin Paskowitz taking the pole away with that 19.329. Still early, though.
Still 4 laps, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Tony Trapasso really wanting to run this series. It was Short Track Master. Looks like he had the pole and then lost it again to Jody Green, trying to keep that string. They are just exchanging quicker than we can do anything in here as the lap times start to roll in. Jay Anderson taking the pole away. This is crazy.
Well, we've had 15 people qualify so far.
David Llewellyn getting a 19.044. That is fast.
Of course he'd get a fast lap. I mean, it's David Llewellyn. He's one of our hot lappers.
Jody Green taking it away, nearly getting under 18 seconds.
Under 19.
Under 19, rather.
Man, you really are rusty.
I think that time by Jody's going to be enough to do it.
With as much... Well, he's only 39 thousandths ahead of David.
Oh, look at that. They broke 19. Rob Thomas making a showing.
I was in the middle of saying it, and then they did it.
Yeah, of course. Commentator's curse.
No, I was in the middle of saying that they probably would beat it because it was only 39 thousandths. But man, that is insane.
That is a quick time. Bottom of the field, Johnny Antonucci with a 20.258, so that should really give us the time frame here.
I think he was just trying to kind of get some laps around the track just to get used to the car a little bit more. He might have joined a little late.
I think you're right there.
So one thing I do want to point out is you chose Richmond, which I think is great because it's not as short as Martinsville or Bristol, so it's not that hectic, but it's not as big as Charlotte, so it still gives, it kind of gives a flexibility in between.
But I also super speedway racing you get at Charlotte.
Yeah, but I like it because it's probably the third closest track that these guys will run in this series because of Martinsville and Bristol, so it's the third. Well, maybe Charlotte. It's probably close to Charlotte as far as where we live.
Yeah, to us it is a little bit of a hometown circuit for us.
Overall, it's always going to be Martinsville, but knowing that you picked this for the first one that we're broadcasting here for these guys, I like that.
Richmond was a track preference by a lot of the guys here. It really did come down, but did we want to introduce these guys to a super speedway track like we did with the other two leagues with Charlotte, where we'll have our season debut, or do we want to get some actual proper racing in?
Yeah.
And that's, I think Richmond offered the best solution. It's wide enough that these cars can make some runs, but you have to drive it, you have to time it, you have to draft right. Pitch strategy is going to come into account. There's a lot to factor in.
And you said 10% is about 30 laps, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll have two pit stops. Well, do you know how did you run 2 full runs, or did you only run 1 full run?
I ran 2 fuel runs. I know Terry was asking people what time they ran out. I ran out when I ran at lap 30. David Llewellyn ran out at 32.
The reason I was asking is I was trying to get an idea of how the tires would feel after 2 full runs if you didn't take tires on the first one, to get an idea of what people would do.
Loose. It does. Okay. You kind of lose some of that understeer, or the oversteer rather.
So people who are used to loose cars, like for example Tony or maybe Mark, that kind of benefits their kind of driving style. Now we don't know about the new guys yet, so.
Yeah. It's time for the drivers meeting here. I don't know if you wanted to get into that.
Yeah, I'm going to unmute it for that. I'm going to mute my mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for the awesome turnout tonight. I was a little bit concerned of how it would go. Basically, the way this is going to work out is this is just an introductory race, so you all can kind of get a feel for each other, new guys to the league as well as the established veterans. The big thing I want to stress tonight, above all else, is patience. Let's be smart. Let's plan our moves before we make them. Let's get some good green flag runs in. We do have a few rules here that I haven't really gone over and you wouldn't see without the rule book. We have a 2-caution rule in this league. The first caution, you will receive an end of the longest line penalty. I will be race control tonight. The second penalty, we will ask you to park it. It's not a removal from the league. It just means that, we need to ensure better racing. If you cause a caution, please claim it. Say my fault. Please say my bad. Something along the lines. Just take responsibility. It doesn't look any less on you, but when points start becoming a factor, we do penalize people less for those who do cause cautions. Please, when we're at 1 lap to go, let's ensure that there is no radio chatter until after the restart takes place. I will probably do my best to remember to mute driver chat, but that is also, something I shouldn't have to do, so let's just be smart there. As you all may know, if you perform well in this series, you may very well receive a message from myself, Terry, or anybody else asking you if you're interested in running in the other 2 series, the faster IndyCar, the Dallara Circuit 2011, or the DW12, which runs Sundays and Tuesdays, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's just focus on tonight more than anything. I want to give a big thank you to Terry Adams, who is the series coordinator and the coach. I've asked Terry to kind of evaluate talent in the field for the other series. He may very well give you some helpful criticism. He's not doing it to be mean. He's not doing it, to be a dick. He's doing it to help improve you as a driving, especially if you're newer to the IndyCar. If you just want to stay and run this series, that's perfectly fine. But do remember that this is a feeder series, and we are looking for guys to eventually move up. Nothing wrong with wanting to run that. That's perfectly fine. Above all, I want to thank you guys one more time for coming out tonight. Let's have some good, clean racing. Be patient. Be smart. Let's have some fun tonight.
2 minutes left after that. I tried to keep that brief.
Well, hopefully I have it muted again, so...
Guess we'll find out. 2 minutes left, and I think Rob Thomas is keeping that fast time at this point.
He probably will. The thing is, from experience, I know he probably will not be able to maintain that kind of speed for very long.
No, that's I want to know what he was doing for that run.
It's definitely
one last rule I did forget, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a very strict no flaming rule. Please keep all negative comments about any other drivers to yourself. Don't to your mic. We're not interested in hearing it here. We're not interested in iRacing fights. We're a laid-back group of people who like good, clean racing. Sometimes it doesn't work the way we like it to, but, we...
Alright, just muting it there, because we don't need to hear that part of the thing. I didn't have it muted.
Oh, well.
Well, at least it's better to find out now.
As soon as you turned it off, Vega's like, yeah, shut up, Tony. Mark Vega, I'm sure he's glad to be able to relax and actually race and not have to worry about all the stress that he's had to put up for so long in the booth. I know he's had to deal with some stressful times up in that race control. Not an easy job, for sure.
I was one to give him trouble, too.
Yeah, we all have.
Yeah. But overall, he has been really good at what he's done.
He's been great at race control.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, he's had moments where it's felt like, am I watching NFL refs? But then there's been times where it's like, the NFL refs could learn a thing or two from him.
Above all, he's patient and he's fair. I'm the owner of the league, and I've gotten black flags from him before, so it's, it's not completely unheard of. 3 seconds left as we begin grid up, and I'm going to go ahead and congratulate Rob Thomas on the first pole in the history of the ISL Icebreaker Series here.
Yep. Let's see. So who was it? Rob Thomas. What number is he? Yeah, there he is. Okay. Apply. Need somebody who's gridded up. Can you give me someone who's on the grid already?
You what?
Can you give me someone who's on the grid already?
Jody Green.
Where is his name on here? There he is.
So as we start here, row 1, you have Rob Thomas on that inside on the pole. Jody Green's going to start starting the outside. Austin Edwards and Resley Utt in row 2. 4 new drivers in the first 2 rows. That's pretty cool. The old guard makes up row 3 with Johnny Antonucci and David Llewellyn. Mike Erder and Jay Anderson in row 4. Richard Suddeth and Tony Trapasso, row 5. Mike Whitaker and Jose Olivas, another new name, row 6. Robert Lacavara and Kevin Paskowicz, KP, row 7. Peter Talumis, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, Mark Vega, row 9. Russ Addy and Mike Baker, row 10. And I believe we're going to have Tom White, Martin Miller, row 12, and Dominic Byrne and Sam Cooper Bennett, row 13. And drawing out the end of the field is going to be Terry Adams.
Yeah, and it looks like I thought we were going to have some other company up here with us in the booth. It looks like we're not.
That's what happens. I'm thankful for what we got here.
Yeah, I just want to point out we have someone in the chat that says greetings to Terry and David. I assume they mean David Llewellyn since David Wright is not here. Scary Casper Berry Coco is the YouTube name. If you wanted to, if you want to tell them that or not, I don't know.
We're getting ready to pace here, so we'll focus on race and we'll let them know after.
Again, if audio seems a little unbalanced, please say so that we can adjust this. This is a practice thing, so that practice just as much for them guys as it is for us. I guess I meant that the other way around, but that way we can get this ready for when the season starts in 3 weeks. Set this aside.
2 laps before we go green here, so they're going to pace this first time around this 3/4 mile track here. I like how iRacing added how you can choose a pace car. I like having an overly expensive pace car for what's really not that expensive of a car.
Oh, you were able to choose the Porsche over the Mustang?
I was. You can do that now.
I knew you could, I just didn't know where the option was. I think we should ride around with the Porsche in all of our series, to be honest. I like the Mustang, I think it looks nice, but I think the Porsche looks so much better. Excuse me, I gotta say it right, the Porsche. As you would actually, is closer to German. It's not actual, but closer.
Lights are off on the pace car, going green this time.
Is that a Hooters car on the outside?
I think it is. I was looking at that myself.
And I was watching it as he went by. That's pretty neat. I actually like the look of it. It looks a lot better than what Chase Elliott's Hooters car is going to look like. That thing was hideous. From Hugh. I'm sorry, sir, but I do not know how to pronounce that, so I'm just going to say the first part there that you typed, Hugh. That is a nice size looking field there. I like that.
This is awesome for the first race here.
See,
75
nice
laps as we get ready. Pace car is going to dip down here and hand the field over to Rob Thomas.
I'm going to put us on board with
and Rob Thomas waits for the green flag and they roll.
I have us on board with Tony and his
Rob
camel
Thomas
car for now.
Not keep the lead at all. Jody Green getting that run on the outside. And Jody Green takes an immediate lead and just runs
We're
away.
3 wide coming off turn 2, right in front of Tony. He got loose coming off of 2, but held on to it.
Jody Green, the man to beat right here, as he just runs away with this at that outside start. The ISL Pro Icebreaker Series has completed its first lap. Austin Edwards appearing to be the challenger to Jody Green now. Rob Thomas did not get the restart he was hoping for. Wesley Utt gonna take him on the bottom. Now, he's playing this really cautious.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here. I have to mute my mic when I'm clicking because I don't want the annoying stuff. And we have someone dipping down to the inside, I see back there. That was an interesting maneuver. Let's see how it pays off.
The field's pretty much single file right now, and I'm glad to see they're really playing this patiently.
I'm going to see how Crank It Up sounds, so let's give a chance at that real quick. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't sound very intimidating.
It's not very.
compared to our Indy cars.
Going off.
Yeah, compared to the Indy cars, man, this thing doesn't sound intimidating. But we can use it for
side for second here. Austin Edwards trying to get past Wesley up there, and they are side by side at the drag race through the backstretch.
And they are running 3/10 faster than they were in qualifying. And I just saw Tony using the apron through 3 and 4 there. He had both of his left side tires down below the yellow line.
There's not a lot of room on this track. You gotta do what you can here.
Oh yeah. Man, that is a nice angle. Do we have a battle for the lead?
We do. Austin Edwards got past Jody Green. That's the thing about these Pro Mazdas is they suck up so quickly. The draft is so vital here, and if you get left out to dry, you're not keeping your position very long. Three different lead changes thus far as Austin Edwards leads the field and the second place cars are fighting.
And what I want to point out is we have the top 4 as new guys and new blood. We don't have our first league veteran until 5th place in Johnny Antonucci.
I heard somebody get loose, but it looks like they saved it.
Oh, the 45 got loose and then tight, it looked like, going into 3 and 4, and allowed Jody Green to take back second.
Lap 9, they are going. It looks like they might go 3 wide for third. Backing out of it, there's double file for 4th and 5th right now.
I do want to point out that I did not expect with this many new guys in the field for us to make it more than 4.
Don't.
No, I'm not going to say for this far. I was going to say more than 4 laps in.
You're right. All right. 10 laps in.
I thought about it first, don't worry. And we have some intense racing.
Oh man, they are double file for the lead. Everybody being patient thus far. I doubt we'll see that at lap 75.
And I'm gonna watch this from the box right now, just to kind of give a view of what it would be like if we were up on the spotter stand for a moment. And actually, it's pretty neat for this track because there's almost nothing on the track, so we can. I think the box camera will be the best for now. We're gonna sit here. We'll watch a few laps from this angle. Oh, someone got loose. Someone hit the wall. Someone hit the wall.
Caution is out.
Caution is out for the first time in the series.
What was the number?
That's what I'm looking. It's a black car and Michael Whitaker, it looks like. Michael Whitaker involved somehow.
It's replay.
Michael Whitaker got turned. Michael Whitaker gets turned by Rob Thomas. And then another car spins to avoid it.
Man, that looked painful too. That looked incredibly painful. Ouch. Well, how many fast repairs did you give him for this?
3.
Okay.
The whole field checking up, trying to avoid it. Nobody wants to take that long tow.
Let's put this on the roll bar. I'm riding above Tony's helmet right now. I haven't seen a Campbell car in so long. This is like
Robert
a throwback
Thomas
scheme.
claiming the accident. Yeah, receiving that the first EOL. I'm sure that's not what he wanted to do, but
well, we're 13 laps into what we know is 30 laps. I assume some of them are talking about what they're gonna do in this situation.
I think this is a situation where I would agree to do what the leader does here. And if I'm Austin Edwards, I'm gonna stay out. Pit road should be open to the caution car, and Austin Edwards is staying out. But it looks like Jody Green's gonna go ahead and take those.
Looks like Tony Trapasso's pitting as well because we were on board. I was on board with him when he went down. Put it back on the box.
3 cars opting to go.
Let's put it up on the blimp. Do we not have a blimp cam? We obviously do not have a blimp cam. What about chopper cam? There we go.
Pro Mazda, I think we can afford a blimp.
We can apparently afford a chopper.
Tony Trapasso overshoots his pit stop by a mile. That's going to cost him on this battle for pit road.
It looks like Mark pit too. Put on our leader. I've given
Mike
up on
Whitaker and Martin Miller going 2 laps down here. Unfortunate for them. Terry Adams is going to make it out 1 lap down.
118.
And here they go, managing to beat the pace car out.
Right front suspension maybe? Nope.
No, Michael Whitaker will not get there. Unfortunate for the veteran and the new guy, Martin Miller. Joined the league last night, matter of fact.
I would like to thank the thousands of people that decided to come out and watch this exciting race in the stands there.
Here we go here. Austin Edwards, yeah.
I just noticed because the pole, what is that thing called that they put all the numbers on and everything? Standings thing in the middle? in the middle of the track. They have a specific name for it. But because it only displays double digits, it doesn't go into the triple digits.
Huh.
It shows 18 for first and second because we have Austin Edwards as the 118.
Lights off as a pace car as they go double file here. I think Austin has to have Rob's restart on the back of his mind of how poorly it went.
And here they're going to have a little bit more worn tires. They're going to be cooled back down to that with more wear on them. So that's definitely going to be interesting. Will he spin his tires trying to get up to speed? Pylon, that's what it's called. I think it's called the pylon. Or obelisk. Probably pylon. That's going to bug me, I swear. We're going to be like 5 laps to go and I'm going to remember what it is. I'm going to blurt it out like crazy. Here we
Pace
go.
car is off. And Austin Edwards waits till the green flag, and I think he's going to get a better restart than what Rob Thomas did on the first one.
Yeah, looks like he got a big start. Third place jumps up into second, which gives Jody Green second place back. But he got right up on the bumper of Edwards.
A little bit of contact in the back of the field. Everybody's still rolling.
Yeah, this for at least this track, being up in the box and watching it from here is probably the best angle. Probably wouldn't work at Charlotte, but it definitely works here because we get a really nice view of the field as they go through the track.
Bottom line on cold tires does not equal speed right now.
Yeah, I've noticed a few people drifting up just slightly. They're not running right on the yellow, but they're not running above the white line, really.
Austin Edwards, majority of the field actually has maybe 10 laps of fuel left, so I'm going to be interested in seeing what's happening.
First, all the way back to 12th, has been out there for 20 laps. Michael Baker, who restarted in 13th, has already fallen back 2 spots to people
Tony
with fresh tires.
is just waiting for it to happen, too. Tony always playing the strategy game. I think the people who saw the pit road that last caution are going to have dividends paid to them.
We almost went 3 wide going down into 1 and 2 between the guys back here battling for 3rd through 7th.
Double file for 3rd and 4th.
And 5th and 6th, and then 7th right there behind him. And looked like a little bit of contact there.
Cut off.
Let's whoop. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go to here. Well, it's glitching out on me. Oh yay. This one.
They have maybe 8 laps of fuel. Caution is out. Involving the 83.
The 83. Oops. Someone got loose, and then he got involved in it. It's one of the turquoise cars, and one of them is blinking like crazy. Did not get a chance to see who it was. Did you catch a number on...
I'm looking.
Okay.
It's either Michael Baker or Sam Cooper Bennett. Looks like...
we know Sam's had some connection issues, so let's go ahead and... Let's see what Sam says.
Looks to me like a little bit of net ode. Waiting to see if Sam's going to call it, but I think Sam came up and spun Michael Baker.
To me, from that angle, it looked like... I'm going to put it in the chopper cam and watch them coming around the track. So they go down to the corner, he gets pinched down, hits the apron, and then it kind of just drifts back up the track from when he hit the apron. So the
Austin Edwards staying out again.
Does he not know how long the fuel goes on these things with the 10% tank?
We'll find out.
But from what I could tell, the one with the more black in the car than Sam's came down ever so slightly going down, pinched him down, not knowing he was there. He went back up when he realized he was actually there. And then it forced Sam to kind of react. He hit the apron a little bit, and when he did, it made the car uneasy, and he drifted back up into the other guy.
The top 5 opting to stay out here. Interesting call. Austin Edwards.
Out of curiosity, okay, I just heard it. Was that Tony asking people if they knew how long their fuel can go on these things? Because I'm wondering, has anybody mentioned that these cars are only going to be able to go 30 laps? So that those top 5 know. Or are we going to have 5 guys run out of fuel?
Nobody's brought it up to them, but I think it's best to let them make the mistakes for their own here. It's going to be pretty interesting.
And the thing that bothers me is we have 2 veterans who know that we run limited fuel tanks, and they're still out there after being out there for 25.
Let's see, the people who stayed out. Austin Edwards, Johnny Antonucci, Mike Erder, Wesley Utt, Richard Suddeth.
Yep. Right now, I'm looking at the times these guys have set, and we have some insanely fast laps. I can't do it from my end. Who do you have as running the fastest lap so far? Because I know it highlights it on Sim Racing.
Austin Edwards with an 18.699.
That doesn't seem right because I have
That doesn't seem either.
Yeah, because I have Johnny Antonucci's running an 18.643.
It's not showing me it's not showing me best lap.
Richard Suddeth an 18.615. Jose Alvarez, Olivia, number 87, with an 18.601. Peter Tolumis with the 09 car, an 18.479. That is the fastest I see, an 18.479 in the 09 car. I don't see anything faster. Pretty close, but nothing faster. Right now, we have Mark Vega down 5 laps. Terry Adams down 4 laps. Michael Baker down 3 laps. Sam Cooper Bennett down 3 laps. Michael Whitaker down 2 laps out of our veterans. The new guys that are laps down, Martin Miller in the 25 is 3 laps down, and Rob Thomas in the 83 is 1 lap down. But I think veterans that are laps down are just, other than Sam because he got involved in that wreck just now.
Lights are off on the pace car.
I think they're just kind of cruising. Well, they've been out there 27 laps with cautions. I don't know if this has the same ratio as the NASCAR cars where it's 2 to 1. 1 lap under cautions, 2 laps on the green. Wait, no, it's the other way around. 2 laps under cautions, 1 on the green. But they're at 28 laps, and even wow, who's out there
Austin
in front?
Edwards getting another restart.
Was that him?
Austin Edwards, yeah.
Well, because he seems to be running really fast, I'm going to put us back in the cockpit of our normal commentator, Tony Trapasso, real quick.
Oh my God! Look at that pile up at third. Tony Trapasso fighting a hard-charging field.
That's 4th.
Sorry, 4th. Double file here. It's like some old-school pack racing here. Tony Trapasso, and he's almost went 3 wide there, trying to decide which line's going to give him the better push. I believe that's Mike Erder behind him. That is Mike Erder and Jose Olivas. That whole pack is just getting such a hard charge here. Austin Edwards, Johnny Antonucci, and Wesley Ott have been out there for 31 laps. I'm waiting for it to happen.
I see Tony's going up to the outside line. Those top 3 are just pulling away right now.
Tony making probably the smart call and letting that bottom line through. And they're wrecking in front of him.
And that was one of the leaders, wasn't it? Go back to the cockpit. Let's go to Jose. Let's put it on. Where is he? Bob Thomas. Nope. I had it right. Where's Jose? And the box.
That's not Jose. That is Mike Erder. No, it's not. Who is that?
They were tumbling for a really long time.
That is Johnny Antonucci.
That was Johnny okay. Well, let's see what happened here. They go into 1 and 2. Everything looks fine. Hooters guy gets to his outside. He comes up and he just cut off the nose of the Hooters car and it sent himself into the wall. So he went up trying to get in the way of either trying to get out of the way of the guy he was catching and drafting, or trying to throw a block, and it backfired greatly.
Austin Edwards finally making the call to pit there.
They honestly got extremely lucky on that.
Yeah, they did.
They should not have been able to go that long. And Jose Olivas, I'm not going to be able to say that name anytime soon.
I'm pronouncing it Olivas.
I'm just going to call him Jose. We call Tony Tony, so... I'm just going to call them by the names that I can pronounce.
It is Olivas. I just asked him for clarification.
Olivas.
Olivas, your
Okay.
new
Leader.
Your new leader here. Tony Trapasso, OKP, Kevin Paskowicz, and Peter Talumis here. Let's see who we got here. Let's try to talk to somebody.
Do we want to do a rookie?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Or are we
I
going
want
to
to
do
try to
better?
get a rookie. I want to try to get a rookie in here. Let's see who we got.
I'm going to mute my mic. I'll let you do it real quick. Do this. Just let me know who you're going to do so I can switch the
I
camera.
don't actually know who I. Let's go ahead and get Tony because I know he was nearly involved in that wreck.
All right.
If I had
So, sorry, Tony. Alex in the booth, you got me.
kinda.
I couldn't keep you out of the booth for too long, bud. Tell me about what was going through your mind when Johnny Antonucci was tumbling in front of you there.
Well, luckily this is not a G-rated stream, so the only thing that was going through my mind was, oh shit, this is gonna hurt.
So you took the bait. Well, I wouldn't say took the bait, but you pitted on that first caution there. Were you hoping we stayed green and those guys in front of you were going to run out?
No, not at all. I took a look at how many laps the race was, how many laps we were in, and I pitted on lap 15. So when everybody else is having to pit on lap 60-ish, I should have already had my second stop in, and Jose and Kevin came with me at that time, so the three of us are kind of on the same pit strategy. We're 1 to green right now, though.
Alrighty, I will let you get back. I hope it pays off for you, Tony.
Well, that and a nickel will get you a cup of coffee some places.
I appreciate it, Tony.
Later.
User was moved out of your channel.
Tony Adams definitely not want to. Tony Trapasso definitely not wanting to be back in the booth if he doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Well, we had Jay McLendon apparently wanted to try and get into the race, but fortunately didn't realize that we were a separate league.
Pace car is off, and Jose following suit with the other restarts and waiting for the green before gunning it. Tony Trapasso, the veteran, on his outside.
But not pushing it too hard, it looks like. He didn't get a great start, but he's holding off back there.
I think he's looking to dip inside here in this next turn, drafting with the rookie.
Look at that gain he got.
Yeah, he got a big push there, and I think he might cross him over right here. Jose getting pushed in the outside, no help, and Tony takes the lead. Jose is going to quickly learn that outside's not where you want to be when the whole field's coming. He's going to try to push his way back in here.
Yep, this is looking good. This is looking like it's getting interesting, and this is typically what we see in the last, 35 laps of a normal ISL race.
Everybody's jostling for position. These shorter races, if you're going to make a move, you need to make it.
We got a wreck. We have a wreck. Oh, wow. 2 separate wrecks. Oh, I really hope we're not getting to the point of this race where it turns into cautions breed cautions.
Unfortunately, that seems to be the case with these.
I know, well, at least it's just meant for practice so everyone can get used to each other and accustomed. But still, 41 laps, I honestly thought we were going to be more caution fest in this up to this point.
Yeah.
Who was that claiming
Austin
it?
Edwards claiming it.
Going down into 1 and 2, everything looks good. He's the red and blue car, right? Yep, he gets into the back of the guy. Who is that has the that has their car painted like a U.S. Army during World War II? Because he just got into the... He basically did a NASCAR move. Hit him in the left rear, and it just at the wrong time. So Tony's probably going to be pitting. I wonder... Well, let's go on Richard Sudduth, since we know that he's probably not going to pit. Well, Tony's been out there 27, and we know that up in the top 8, everyone has been out there for at least 17 laps.
Lucky dog going around. I believe that's Mike Baker.
Might be Mike Erder.
Mike Erder's already on the lead lap. It was a turquoise car.
Oh, okay. So, well, we'll find out in a second when they.
No, I think it
back
was
up.
actually Sam Cooper Bennett. Yeah, because Austin Edwards was one lap down and with the caution.
Well, it's because he got involved in the wreck. So, our dominant car is now wrecked. Ooh.
Couple guys just barely beating it off pit road there.
What is Tony thinking? He's staying out now. Huh. Wonder if he's betting on us having another caution within a few laps like we've had the last few times. Well, since it is March and there are some games going on, I figure while we're on the caution, I can give some updates for anybody watching who's interested in the basketball games. The current ones being played right now are St. Mary's and VCU. St. Mary's is up by 9 right now. They have 2 minutes left in that game, so by the time we finish this race, that game will actually be over.
Jose Olivas opting to pit here.
Which I actually think it is interesting that VCU is playing right now because they are based in Richmond and we are at Richmond.
Huh.
So that is pretty neat. And then Florida Gulf Coast is playing Florida State. They just tipped off. So keeping to the Virginia theme, U of Yay won earlier, so yay for our state. Virginia Tech's going to be playing in about 5 minutes. So hopefully the state of Virginia can go 3-0 today and have one of our Virginia drivers in this race win.
Two to green here, and Jose opting to pit. I think that was a last-second call on his part, but we'll see if it pays off here. Trapasso, Tulumis, Llewellyn, Olivas, Anderson, Green, Lacavara, White, and Sudduth, your top 10 right now. Won the green here as pace car is off on the lights are off on the rough. The field is going to form up double wide, and Tony has won the Lovenberry up his restart.
He's also been out there for 30 laps. Just a heads up.
Tony Trapasso in the chase for season 1. Well, actually, in the final 4, came really, really close to winning it, but Cody Eldred got a draft and he did, and that's the only reason Tony Trapasso is not the defending champion of this league.
And yet again, that was something that paid. That was a fuel mileage situation that paid off for Cody Eldred. He has
Tony,
had so many of
as
those.
soon as the pace car is off, we're back on the green.
That was
Tony
nice.
Gets the run of a lifetime.
Let's go back up there to the front of the field. Who's in second? Let's go to David Llewellyn for a little bit and let's focus on him.
Peter Tulumis tried to make it work on the outside, and I think he's going to find out it doesn't work. David Llewellyn and Tony Trapasso.
Is Peter the jet black car there?
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to get someone on his inside now. And David Llewellyn's up there, and we're going to have 2 guys who were in the chase in our first inaugural season in the ISL up there battling for the lead.
The old guard trying to show the new guys how it's done here. Doesn't matter the car. They're
Jody
saying
Green,
they
he's
want this
fighting
for
back.
themselves.
David Llewellyn sucked up to the back of Tony's car there, and he could have gotten into the back of him if he didn't let off a little. You know he had to lift. Sorry if my phone's getting picked up on stream. Facebook is going off.
Jody Green getting the inside. He's getting past David Llewellyn. You can hear those old tires start to spin. Little bit of contact between Terry Adams and Austin Edwards. And Tony's going to let him by. Now see, old tires are starting to play a factor here. 25 laps to go in this race, still led by Tony Trapasso. Jody Green gets the run, pushes Tony up the track.
And we have a wreck. Tony has been wrecked. Tony is wrecked.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And you know he is going to be really angry and frustrated.
He's going to be, that's some frustration.
But from my angle there, it looked like maybe he came down a little bit, not knowing it was 3 wide. Because I do know in iRacing, the game doesn't always tell you when you're 3 wide.
I don't know really what to rule that accident.
That was David Llewellyn, too.
It was David Llewellyn. It was the old guard letting the new guys through.
So they go down, let's see.
I think Tony can limp that through.
Going down to the 3 and 4, David and the guy on his inside, they... okay, so it looked like they kind of went together. Like the air just sucked the two cars together. Because David went up, Tony came down. I don't have a chase camera, so I can't check from that angle. But instant replay. Who else can I get on board? Let's get on Tom White. Cockpit. Yeah, it looked like to me that Tony just slightly maybe turned down.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's going to stay in the lead lap. They'll get that fast repair.
I'm going to watch it from his point of view here. He's going. Yeah, the car starts to... So the car started to drift down a little bit on him, and David was coming up a little bit because of tightness.
Tony
trying
had
to
to
keep
pit
off the
one more
bottom.
time anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, so this is ultimately going to probably pay off for him.
Well, I hope so.
Because he just found out he can go 35 to the end. Pick someone else. Don't go with Tony again. Come on now.
All right, let's go ahead and talk to Jody Green here. He made a good pass there for it.
User was moved
Hey,
to
Jody,
your
it's
channel.
Alex up here in the booth. You got me, sir.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Not too bad. Hey, tell us about that pass there. I know Tony came up a little bit, and you were just like a shark getting through him.
I was just trying to keep the car rolling as best I could. I was going to try it on him anyway and hope he'd kind of come off the corner a little high and give me enough room. So I was just trying to keep the momentum up.
Your first somewhat official ISL competition. What do you think so far?
Pretty fun. Hard to pass, but it's fun, man. It's a lot of close racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing about this car here. I mean, it's a lot of close proximity, and yeah, this is the first race, so I kind of figured we were going to have a good amount of cautions, but I think we had a really good first run myself.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. It's better than what it was looking like in practice. Some practices just looked terrible, and that first run was great.
Yeah, I hope that's a sign of
User
things to
joined
come
your
at
channel.
Charlotte. What's your strategy going forward here, real quick, as we go to 1 to green?
Well, I've kind of learned from everybody else. I'm gonna bottom feed and just try to keep the momentum going on the car and just see if we can keep it up front for the rest of the race and make sure my fuel holds up.
You think you're gonna make it?
Yeah, I think so. I've got 0.9 gallons, and I think that's more than enough to make 20 laps. I hope.
Well, Jody, I hope it works out for you. We'll let you go ahead and get ready to focus on this restart. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, man.
User was moved out of your channel.
Mark Vega joining us in the booth.
What's up, Alex and Forrest? Came here to help you do race control since iRacing screwed me on disconnecting me.
I was wondering what happened with that. Did you get the chance to see that last wreck?
Yeah.
Or you pretty much agree racing incident with me there?
Yeah, it was.
I know Tony was probably a little bit upset about that.
Ooh, my game just freaked out. Well, didn't drop a frame, thankfully, so...
I thought this was 1 to green.
It is,
Oh,
we're
it
going
is.
green.
Pace car is off. Jody Green gunning it. Jay Anderson gonna dip right in. Tom White, Dominic Byrne, Robert Lacavara. Single file here. 20 laps to go, roughly.
We are at exactly 20 to go, coming to 19 to go right now. Here we go. So, you said 30 laps, but these guys have been pushing it past that. Tony was at 35. Yeah, Tony was at 35. And he says with 0.9 gallons, he thinks he should be able to go another 20 laps. So
These cars don't use a lot of fuel. They're not the IR05 where you have to pour buckets into it to go 1 lap.
Yeah, my car was 0.8, and it said I had 41 laps before that caution came out.
Dominic Byrne opted to go wide there, thinking about making a move on Jay Anderson, but thought otherwise.
and Jay Anderson looked like going to the inside of Jody Green, but had to check up. So we have these 3 guys, bumper to bumper. Well, I guess wing
Jody
to...
Green told us the strategy. He's going to ride that bottom.
With these cars, would it be technically wing to gearbox and not bumper to bumper?
Probably true. Dominic Byrne keeps going wide there, like he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. I think he finally opts to run that outside line and get low in the corner, but I think that's not going to pay off.
Oh, that's some wrecking. Oh my God.
Caution is out.
Looks like a racing incident where KP was high, but the middle car had nowhere to go because someone came squeezing in the bottom.
Yeah, they went 4 wide in 2 lanes. I can tell you right now, that's never going to work no matter what cars you're running. Yeah, they went 3 wide into 3 and 4, and then one guy forced 4 wide right as they started to wreck. And then someone went flying, as always seems to happen with us. One car at least every race.
Wesley Utt involved. Looks like he's going to be able to stay.
So we're going to see how long these cars really can go if Jody Green's able to make it go to the end.
You want me to go up there, Alex?
Yeah. Handle that for me.
User left your channel.
They're having some disagreements, I assume.
A little bit, I'm assuming.
Did they just ask for Mark to come back up there?
No, they asked for me. And I sent Mark.
Okay. Well, I assume we probably have, what, 2 or 3 laps to green? Maybe, probably 2 or 3.
I think this is the last pacing lap.
Are the lights off? I can't tell.
No.
So
This is the last lap before we go 2 to green.
Before we go 2 to green, okay.
Yeah, so 3.
Okay,
Jody
so
Green getting lucky with these cautions. Dominic Byrne.
we'll be going green with 11 to go.
Jose Olivas mentioned this was his first league race. Looks like he's got a pretty strong showing here. Good mix of the old guard still around. Mike Erder.
Just want to say thank you to the viewer who has been sitting there in the chat. He just said he's got to head off, so we'll pass along your message of greetings to Terry and David. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, from Belgium. Alrighty. I can definitely understand why it's time for you to go to bed. A little late over there, or early. Yeah, early. Probably like 4 a.m. over there right now. Wait. Belgium's over near France. That's 6 hours.
Roughly.
Yeah, so that's 4 a.m.
Wesley Utt opting to disconnect. Disappointing finish there for him, I'm sure.
Well, hopefully he decides to come back and try again with us a few more times and not just quit out immediately after the first race. So the DW12's next season, I know that it's not official yet as far as what the Tuesday night series percentage is laps are going to be, but DW12s I assume are going to stay at the 50% of NASCAR. So this track, for example, would be 200. Is there a set percentage for these cars, or are we going to be just, or like Terry and...
I'm sorry, what?
So for these cars, like for the DW12, it's 50% of NASCAR.
User joined your channel.
How are these cars, how are their race leagues going to be determined?
We're probably going to try to do one fuel run.
Just one fuel run, okay. So
what's going on, Mark?
83 stop right in the middle of the track.
Is that another car by?
Okay.
Yeah, to let another car by.
I was dumb of him. Why is the field so bad? Pace car's off.
Here we go. Green flag with
Green flag.
11 laps to go. And oh my god, look at Jody Green start there. And Dominic Byrne got such a slow start that Peter Talamas just was able to get past him, and he's already up in second now. He cleared him completely before the end of 2.
I just hope this finishes under green.
Oh yeah, I would love it. I mean, it's been a good race so far. I mean, we've had a lot of cautions, but it was expected.
You know, guys, as being from a driver's point, since I was running it a little bit, Jody Green is holding that bottom line, and it's very hard to do. So he's doing an exceptional job there.
Oh yeah, definitely somebody who has caught the eyes of a lot of people.
I mean, that's why we have some of y'all from the regular ISL getting out there on the track, so you can give feedback from the driver's seat.
Dominic Byrne has room to cut in there. I think he thought about it.
I think he's learned how to get that outside line going because he just passed Peter on the outside.
Yeah, but he's got no help. That's going to be the big factor.
Well,
I know he's going to try to side draft.
Well, he didn't have any help getting past Peter here either. I mean, he's battling him without any help at all.
Sam Cooper Bennett opting to park it. Dominic Byrne battling for second. You know Jody's telling them, yeah, you guys keep fighting each other. I'll keep doing my thing.
It's like Dominic just gets so much speed coming off the corners. He's able to carry so much off. He's going to edge him coming off turn 2. He can almost clear him.
Field.
All right, man.
Oh,
Well, good news. We will be going back green.
I don't think we will.
7 laps to go. They just went to 6. If they get back together real quick, we can still go green. Who wrecked?
Austin Edwards.
Man.
14. The 118 hit the 25.
Man, he had such a good start too.
Yeah.
What color car was he again? The blue and red? I mean, he dominated early on in this race too. You laughing at the wreck or the chat?
No, Alex said car 14. It was car 118.
I'm gonna be
was
honest.
that car 14? Park it.
Who's in the 14? Nobody, thank God.
Yeah, no, normally, well, I guess it would technically be Cody, but he's not here. So I'm gonna be honest. That looked like the guy in front of him just let off suddenly, and he had no time to react to that, from what I could tell.
Yeah, when you're coming out the corner, the car wants to push up
Are we
towards
gonna
the
go
wall.
again?
So you have to
We're at 5 to go.
let go of the throttle a little bit, and that's what most likely happened.
Make sure to remind them to get bunched up so we go back green as quick as possible so that we can try and have at least 1 lap. Because 3rd place is hanging back way too far, and it's usually the first few that have to be together. So it's 5 hours, okay. And by the way, Belgium is 5 hours ahead, Alex. That's what he said in the chat.
Oh, nice.
So, because he said 3 a.m. Which I could have sworn they were further east than that. Because I know Germany's 6 from us. Oh well. We're at 4 to go, coming to 3 to go. Do we have the 2 to green yet? If we get the 2 to green at this time by, or if we have it now, we will go back green with at least 1 lap. With 1 lap. Did we get the 2 to green? Are they reporting 2 to green?
Yes,
2 to green.
we are going green.
We are going to have a 1 lap shootout to the end of the race.
This
Oh,
race,
man.
I can't think of a better way to finish this
You wanted it.
season. I can't think of a better way to start this league, start this series, than with a 1 lap shootout in traditional fashion. I swear, every time me and Forrest broadcast.
One thing I would love to see, if they're not going to implement the green-white checkers, I would love to see iRacing implement the option to allow normal yellow flags until like 5 laps to go. That way, once 5 laps to go hits, it stays green the rest of the way. Unless an admin throws the caution. Because then that way we can guarantee our races finish under green. Because that's what we were debating with before the league ever started the first season, was just keep on going, even when the caution flag falls, but it black flags everybody.
Your top 5, Jody Green, Dominic Byrne, Peter Tolumas, Robert Lacavara, and Jose Olivas. A lot of good mix of new and old names there. Rob Thomas also, I think, having a shot. Jody Green's got to feel his heart pounding here. He's done an exceptional job holding that bottom line, but he has been he's been a wishy-washy restarter.
Yeah.
I think that's a good term for it. So the question becomes, what do you do here? Jody also, we know, hasn't pitted.
He's on 50 laps. He's on 50 laps right
50
now.
laps, and he's going to gun it right away. Try to get that initial restart. Dominic Byrne's going to follow him.
And if they can't catch him by the time they come off turn 2, then I think he's pretty much walked away.
The white flag did not come out. Jody Green ran out of fuel.
And there it is.
Peter to Loomis.
Dominic tapped him. Oh! Oh! Who's going to win it then? Who won it? Who won?
Who won?
Russ Addy. What the?
Russ Addy.
Man. Okay, so just want to say, we just found out if we have about 5 or 6 cautions, this tank can be stretched 50.5 laps. We just had the first 6 guys just get wrecked. Wow. Jody Green, by the way, still finished 4th. He had enough fumes in the tank. He had something happen to me like what happened at Dover in that one recruitment race. Man. Oh, by the way, these cars can go 49 laps at Dover on the half tank. So you have that for reference. How's the chat sound right now? I don't want to unmute it. I'm afraid.
Russ Addy, Rob Thomas, Jay Anderson, Jody Green, and Dominic Byrne. Tony Trapasso still managing to get 6. Kevin Paskowicz 7, David Llewellyn 8, Sudeth 9, Erder 10.
Well, Russ Addy and Jay Anderson are in.
Can we get one more replay of that caution from Addy's cockpit?
From Addy's?
And Russ started in 9th position on that restart.
That is great.
Is it roll bar? Okay, here we go on the restart, going down into 1 and 2.
Oh man, we gotta get Jody Green.
Yeah, we see Jody running out of gas. He sits on the apron, and they just all wrecking it. Man, the seas literally parted for Russ. If you watch it, the seas literally just part in front of him, and it's just open track. It's insane. I'm gonna put it on board Jay Anderson as well.
The Red Sea and got through it. That is wild.
I didn't put this on Jay Anderson. I want to put it on Jay Anderson to see what this looked like for him. Okay, so I'm going to put us back to right before we went green. And Jay Anderson started in 8th place and ended up finishing 3rd. Let's see what happens from his point of view, because we saw it from Russ Addy's. And by the way, Russ Addy and Jay Anderson are both in Team Speak.
And that wreck was initiated by the 86.
Yeah, he tapped the corner of who I can't remember who it was. He tapped the corner and just got him loose going into the corner.
Absolutely crazy.
Jay Anderson
I believe it was Peter Talomis. I think I'm saying right, hopefully. If I'm not, I apologize.
Hey, just real quick, look at the distance between 2nd and 3rd.
All right, close it out. What was it?
They're both tied.
Wow. Well, let's go ahead and
to your channel.
get
Russ Addy, you got a copy?
Yeah, I think so.
How lucky do you feel right now?
The funny thing was, I just bought the track like an hour beforehand.
So one of the, it turns out to be one of the regular series drivers taking the first win here at Richmond International Speedway, and the first win in a league-only session. Granted, it's the off-season. Tell me what was going through your mind when they started turning like that.
I just couldn't believe it. That's all.
Oh my god, I don't even know what to say. I mean, that was a wild finish.
Well, fortunately, there's spin all around me all day, and I didn't get caught in anything. So that was the luck of the race.
Oh, definitely congratulations on that one. Anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank whoever crashed in front of me.
The leaders. That was all leaders on that one.
Yeah, I don't mind starting 17th and winning.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you, Russ. I'm glad you got your first win in the league ever, correct?
Yeah, I think I had the practice one on Charlotte last week.
Oh, okay. This counts about the same for it, but that was an absolutely wild finish. Congratulations on the win, bud.
Hey, thanks. And I run the DW11s with you. How about the 12s? What league is that?
That's the same series. It's the same league. We just run them on Sundays.
Series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, bud.
User was moved out of your channel.
Moved my a little too quick there, but
Yeah.
User was moved to your
Jay
channel.
Anderson coming in for third. Jay, what were you thinking when you saw them start to turn?
Just turn left and go fast.
Well, before Alex asks another question, I want to point out to you, you actually, according to the game, tied Rob Thomas for second place. Y'all are both .068 behind Russ when y'all came to the start-finish line.
Yeah, when that last accident happened there, I don't know what his name is. The guy that won the race anyway. I could have laid the bumper to him a little heavier and got him out of shape, but I didn't want to wreck him and cause another wreck. So I was hoping I could still get around and maybe get him out of shape a little bit and swing around to his left and get him. But it didn't work that way. But I'm happy with it. I was where I started, where I finished, and I was back there. I made that last pit stop, and I was in 11th, and we had just a couple laps to go. So I think I did all right.
Well, Jay, definitely congratulations. I know you're much more focused on the other two series, but it's always good anytime you can get a podium, right?
Yeah, it's this is a fun car. I just bought the car the other day because I was hesitant on buying it. But I'm glad I bought it. It's a fun car to drive, and it's a lot of fun.
So you've been racing with us since race 1 of the first season. Of the new talent we assembled, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I heard a lot of complaints on one certain car throughout the night. People were saying to watch out, but I followed him. He was fast when I was behind him, and I didn't see him do anything wrong. So I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, Jay, we thank you for running out tonight. Thank you for everything you've done. Glad you got the podium. I'm sure we'll see you at Pocono, won't we?
You bet. I'll be there.
Jay Anderson, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us in the booth.
User was moved out of your channel.
I don't even know what to say about that finish. I mean, the new talent in this league, I think it's going to take some time to gel, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the series now more than ever. What an exciting finish.
I do want to point out one thing before we go, since Rob Thomas isn't in TeamSpeak. I was misreading the stats. He finished the same distance behind Rob Thomas as Rob Thomas finished behind Russ Addy, the .068. So he was actually .136 behind Russ Addy, but he was the exact same difference behind Rob Thomas as Rob was behind Russ Addy, crossing the line. So I did make a mistake there.
Still, regardless, it was a very very close finish either way you look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely a good way to start off this. We just got to work. I just got to work out some of my kinks with the replay stuff.
Yeah,
I've got
absolutely.
ATVO working for the most part.
We gotta definitely look at the number of cautions and try to get that down. But short track racing, first race, I think it was a good start. Take the positives and move on with them.
Yeah, and our next broadcast is going to be Sunday. It'll be Tony Trasso is going to be back in the booth, hopefully, if he's able to do it. It'll be the DW12s in Las Vegas. I think I will actually be back on the track for that one.
Good.
Only a partial schedule in the DW12s, but that's going to be one of the ones I'm going to be coming back for. So.
Good. I'm hoping to have better results than I did in the 11s up there. Thanks everybody again for tuning in tonight. Would like to remind everybody one last time that we are the IndyCar Speedway League. We're proudly sponsored by RobertTechJobs.com, your Midwest leader for IT solutions and professionals. If you're an IT professional in the Midwest, please go to RobertTechJobs.com and tell them the ISL sent you. Bob Elsie, anything else you want to close on?
No, at the moment, just keep an eye out on our YouTube. We go live every Sunday, Tuesday, and then now Thursday, at least while this series is on Thursday nights. Just keep an eye out. Maybe we might have some other stuff we might put up from practice sessions from time to time.
Definitely. All right, well, for Forest Sparks, my name is Alex Green. I am the owner, and I would like to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.